Hi, we are gonna go live for the second time today. It's pretty incredible. I think this is like a record for me. Normally I'm like one a week, and I think I've been doing pretty good at like one a day for, well, just this week, so two. So we're going to be chatting today with Nicole. This will be our second video. So she is new to the digital marketing world, but her background actually is nonprofits and film, and she's just such a phenomenal woman to get to know. And I've just been having a great time chatting with her and getting to know her. And she is learning media, and she's starting to like really figure it out really well. And I'm excited to kind of talk about ads. I know this is a big conversation with a lot of my clients. We're always talking ads. I even talk this at work as well, like when do we put ads, when do we not, how much should we spend, where's the best place to put ads, all of the other things. So I can't wait to get her on here, and then we will start chatting a little bit more about when, where, how, why not, whatever the conversation leads us to. Let's see if we can get her here. Hello, I see you. Come on in. I don't know if I close out of this if you don't get to join. So, are you there? Can you come on in? Nicole. Let's see. Oh, it says you're green. You're telling your followers you've started a live video. Well, that's nice of Instagram. How about they let me accept Nicole into my thing? Go live. Go live. It worked. Girl, I'm like every day, like, is this thing gonna work or not gonna work today?
I know. And it's like half my head. I have such a big head.
No, that's okay. I actually had to get like my little tripod and like try to angle it differently. Because I used to sit on like the side, and then by the end of my live call, I'd have like a cramp in my right side. I'm like, oh.
Oh my gosh. And I do have a little girl in the back. She's playing. So, Arabelle, want to say hello?
Yes. Oh.
She is usually very friendly, but she's a little tired. She has this tent, and anyway. She got a new tent. She slept in it last night, and she was so excited. She woke up at 5:30 in the morning.
Wow. That's way too early for children to be awake.
Too early. All right, Arabelle, we're talking about ads. What do you think about ads?
She's like, I don't know. The question is no, I'm not going to ask that question. Hi, sweetheart. I love your pretty hair. Oh.
She usually hangs out with me on Zoom too.
You know what? My kids used to do the same thing, and I totally welcome it. Like, I used to think it was completely not okay, and I had to like portray this like very professional environment and person all the time. And then I just kind of let it go. Like, I was kind of giggling even at myself, like jumping onto this because I did a live earlier, and I felt like I looked a little bit better, but that was at like 8 a.m. So I don't know if you're like this as well. Like 8 a.m. you look one way, and by 5 p.m. you're like, screw it, I'm throwing a ponytail on.
I know. I was going to do this. I was going to do this. I was like, all right.
That's me. I have like a morning look and an afternoon look, and the afternoon's like business. I'm like, go.
I know. And it depends on the day too. Yeah. Like as you get older, you're like, what part of the day do I have the most energy? And sometimes at this time, I'm literally ready to go to bed.
I know. Well, I'm excited that we're being able to get back on because this is our second call together. And this is just, I think it's so beautiful how we've connected, and I know we encourage other people to collaborate as well, because there's so many amazing people out here, and we never know how you're going to align or what topics you're going to connect on, or just even how to support each other, right? And I think that that's what this platform really is about, is that
so true.
You can meet people anywhere in the world, and you can find commonalities, right? And typically you find more commonalities than you find differences. And I think that that's what's so special about this.
Very
So
true.
I'm
So,
excited about our conversation
yes,
tonight because I know this one's been
yes.
one that you've been wanting to talk about for a while.
I know, and I feel like it will definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
I do love different perspectives, and I
Yeah.
think hopefully our listeners will feel the same
Yeah.
way. And I might have to just say pause for just a second, making sure that Arabelle's not making the house go on fire. Arabelle.
She will not set the house on fire. She may make a huge mess, but
Yes,
nah, I doubt it.
Arabelle. Arabelle, what are you doing? Sorry. Okay, she said
You're
yes.
good. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
I
My
think she's
cat
okay.
came in the other day. He was like, "Meow, meow," and I'm like, shh, stop that.
My dog was
Stop.
barking too. Anyway, we digress. Um,
Well,
so,
perfect.
did you want to start, or
Yeah.
how should we all we start this?
So, okay. So tell me, so let's talk about this. So today we want to talk specifically, and I kind of briefed everybody ahead of time that we're going to be talking about ads,
Okay.
like when to use them, why to use them, where to use them, why not to use them, when not to use them, things like that. So I kind of spilled the beans a little bit on our topic.
Okay.
But I know that this is something that you recently just learned about. Is that right? Like you've been taking a course
Yes.
and you learned a little bit about ads. So tell me about what you
Mhm.
have learned and let's kind of dive into that.
Okay. So, oh, quick. Sorry. The dogs and the kids, right? So, quick backstory. I have been researching different platforms to create ads, and yes, DWA has been really great. Um, but several years ago, I actually deployed, if you will,
Yeah.
some ads on Facebook to create awareness about one of my documentaries. And I had just finished publishing it with my distributor, and they were so great. It's called Film Hub. It's on
Mm,
every single platform: Apple TV, Roku,
cool.
20. But I said, all right, well, how do we get people to watch my film, right?
Yeah.
So there were several times where I just took a chance. I said,
Mm,
okay, I'm going to create my own ads, took messy action,
mm-hmm.
and I created, the specifications where I was targeting, a specific target audience,
Yep.
region, et cetera, because if I had, um, basically wanted a national ad, that would have been very expensive.
Yeah.
So I chose a region first. North Carolina, very intensive military communities in that
Mm,
entire North Carolina, South Carolina. Okay, so long story short, I was able to make significant passive income when I did post those Facebook ads. And I
mm.
noticed just investing literally $50. It was $50 for 1 month, and I had
Wow.
a lot of views, and then I was able to, create that passive income through the advertising, Whole
Okay.
Foods, Tide,
Wow.
major brands.
That's awesome.
But I only did it a few times.
Yeah.
So now that that was several years ago, now there's so many different platforms. It's very
Uh-huh.
hard to decide when, basically
Yeah.
what to use, and
Yeah.
what would be really, really worth it
Yeah.
to invest ad
Hmm.
dollars to cast a wider web.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. I love that you've tried it and you've had some success with it. With your current or your previous, what platforms did you use? What platforms did you advertise on?
Oh, it was literally just
Okay.
Facebook ads, and I think it bled over to some Instagram ads. But this
Okay.
was in 2022. So this is
Okay.
a couple of years ago.
It
No,
is a couple of years ago. Yeah.
2021 actually.
Okay.
2021. Mhm.
Okay. I know that when Facebook started first advertising and
Mhm.
you started running ads, like I'm going to say, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago when we were able to start buying like some small little ads up in the right hand corner.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, people had so much phenomenal success. Like it was so good. Like you could put $5 in for the week and let it ride,
Yeah.
and you had so many people that were actually
Right.
seeing it, clicking on it. And back
Mhm.
then we didn't have as much data on
Right.
buyers at the time, right?
Right.
So it wasn't as like Google wasn't listening to us like it is is right now. So the fact that we are just literally sitting here talking about ads, which means I'm probably going to get an ad later about setting up a new ad.
Right.
So it goes.
Right.
Right. So I know originally when I first started, it was really a great opportunity for us to be able to do that. And I don't think it's a bad opportunity now. I have taken kind of a different viewpoint on it, and even just the way when I'm working with clients, when to suggest to run ads versus when not to, when to pull back, how much to spend, things like that. And everybody out there has a completely different opinion about this. So I could be right, I could be wrong. It's just my opinion, right? And I'm totally fine with that. Um, so I think there's a couple things. So I run ads with like really small, like brand new baby businesses for my clients, only when they're hitting over 10,000 a month, because at that point they have a little bit more money to spend into advertising versus a company that's brand new. You've got maybe a new digital product. You've never even got one sale yet. I feel like in that situation, it's better to build an organic audience. So that way that organic audience can begin to know, like, and trust you, and you can build that value and build that authority and things like that.
Right.
Totally different with boosting a post. I think boosting a post could definitely help kind of with just the peak and getting people to see you. I think that that's a really great way when you're first starting out. Like if your account, like I would suggest more boost a post versus an ad at this very moment. And then also that has to determine with your financial situation as well. So financially, if you've got extra money, you can throw it an ad and you don't care, like, right? Like maybe you're a mom and you're willing to give up your coffee for the next week at Starbucks, and you're like, you know what, instead of putting $20 in the Starbucks, I'm going to put $20 into my business. Cool. Go play that 20, right? Like on roulette, go throw it all on black and see what happens. You either win it or you lose it, right? And be prepared mentally for that.
Right.
I also work for a company, and we've spent thousands of dollars on ads, and we've got nothing.
Return on investment, nothing.
Nothing.
So that's
And it really depends on your target audience, is how I now feel in my heart of hearts. Like for my work, we're targeting dentists. Okay. It's so hard to get a dentist to click on an ad compared to maybe a mom like myself who likes taking courses, who's always investing in courses, who that's something totally different, right? Such a different audience and different verbiage in your copy. And it's so fun how Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, everybody knows what I do all the time, right? Like they know what to send me.
Right.
Like it's insane. I'm like, and even my husband and I were sitting here looking through Facebook this weekend, and he goes, my gosh. Now he is not a social media person. He is like, he could care less about Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. He'll go on there and look at a reel every once in a while about a cat and laugh and send it to me, and that's about it. So he's on Facebook and he goes, I'm trying to find this message. He goes, and I just have 5 ads to get to the next message on my own feed. He goes, what is this? It's so oversaturated now, right? So I think because I was so funny because I saw your like teaser video of, oh, she's got an opinion. And I do. And I think it's because I've seen it in so many different ways, where I've seen the small account get eaten alive and not have the money and get completely almost depressed the fact that nobody bought or clicked on their ads. And then the second way is I've seen even larger accounts where you're spending hundreds or thousands of dollars and you're still not getting anything either. So I've seen it both ways. And then on the flip side, there's your story of, hey, I've tried it a few times and I had a few clicks and it worked for me this few times a couple of years ago. So am I willing to try it again? Probably, because you had already a little bit of success in it, right? So I think that that's what's so interesting about ads. I really believe now it can be really all organic. I really believe all organic. Like I get all of my clients from word of mouth or online. I don't spend any ads whatsoever. And that's really because of the relationship building.
Yeah. And I guess I would definitely say it really depends on the industry.
Very much.
Because, well, with the film industry, a little bit challenging.
Yeah. I can see that.
My son's business, it's transportation business. If you've got the money to spend on Google ads, Google business it definitely shows
Oh,
results.
for sure.
I'm working with a local business here in South Jersey, and I asked the owner, I said, how much are you spending on social media advertising? He
Yeah.
does pay an advertising company locally. He
Yeah.
spends he spends quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just starting to implement what I'm learning. I said, well, let me do some experimenting on your page, implement what I'm learning, and see if you can go organically there. And the target audience is women, 30 plus, health
Mm-hmm.
and wellness,
Yep.
fitness.
Yep.
So I believe that it can grow organically in that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
business. But in some businesses, it might be beneficial
Mm.
to run ads. And so
Yeah.
there's apps that I was looking at, Zly, Path Social.
Mm.
There's several,
Yeah.
but I guess you have to really do your
Yeah.
research, making sure that there is a
Yeah.
return on investment. I mean,
Yeah.
everything you do take a chance. You have to have faith at the end of
Yeah.
the day. But
And
it's
I think,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. You have
Mm,
to look at other places, and you have to. I think with like even my job, like specifically when we're running ads for dentists, like our
right.
number one question constantly is where are the dentists hanging out?
Yeah.
So it goes to no matter what industry it is. If you're looking for filmmakers, they're probably not hanging out on Instagram. Maybe they are, but where are they hanging out? Where are they going to consume the information, right?
Right.
And get new information that you're possibly offering them.
Yeah.
So for you, I know that you work nonprofits, you work with film, you work with women, digital products, you have all of these different things. So you have kind of a plethora of different audiences in that world, right? But you're looking for that one person that you can connect with in that sense to be able to either share something with them or connect with them, right? And you want to be
Yeah.
able to do that. So, and I know too with ads, like you typically they have to see your ad a few times before they click on it, right? Like I'm a big fan of AppSumo. I don't know if you've ever heard of AppSumo or not.
No.
But you can buy like amazing software there for like lifetime deals. Like it's so dirt
Oh,
cheap and it's so amazing. And
okay.
it's like new developers that are creating these really
Post
cool
that link.
platforms. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
so cool. And it's like
Okay.
I even bought like my bio link I bought from there. It was like $40, right? My
Wow.
calendar instead of paying like Calendly, it's like instead of $29 a month, I pay $29 lifetime for the link access. And so
Wow.
even that platform, it's like I looked at them, they have a sale going on. And it's so funny. They know I looked at them and they've advertised to me today 7 times to remind me not to forget that they have a sale going on because they know I'm looking for things.
Right.
That's what I think is so fun about ads is because you can really target exactly who it is, but you have to do this over time.
Right.
And I think what's even cooler with now with all the technology is you can mimic your audiences to look like somebody else's. So, for example, if I want to target to, let's say, Tony Robbins' audience, right? I now can go in there on different platforms and say, I want these people who are following A, B, C, and D. Maybe it's Tony and Oprah, and we'll say, I don't know, Cher, because that's what's coming to my
Oh,
mind. I don't know why I want all
Matthew
three of those.
McConaughey. Matthew
I mean,
McConaughey. You mentioned that this morning.
oh, yay. Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, these people are following these people, and so these people may like what I have to put out there, right? And and that's what's really neat about ads. Now you get to kind of play around. So if you were going to run an ad today, what platform would you go, and how much money do you think you would spend on an ad?
Oh, that's a good question. So for a client,
Hmm.
and again, in the film world, very different beast.
For sure.
Um, the very modest budget for this film client that has probably a spend, maybe an ad spend of 50,000.
Hmm.
Okay. So
That's a good.
it could
That's a good
conceivably
budget.
be 5,000 a month for that kind of budget. Small business owner like myself, for my own promotion, I probably wouldn't spend more than, I don't know, 100 or maybe 100
Mm,
a month,
okay.
just to experiment. But again, I definitely
Yeah.
want to do my homework and the research. And
Yeah.
the other thing I wanted to mention, email marketing, email blasts.
Yeah.
I talked to a different professional today, a veteran-owned business, and they want to specifically target federal agencies, veteran-owned businesses, and there's specific software where you can connect, and you don't have to do the research. They do, all the research for you, and basically they, hand it all in a nice little package, and
so
you
cool.
have your target audience. But doing that research is very, it is time consuming, but there's shortcuts.
Yeah.
So, and then
I think
of course,
AI is helping with that. I think AI is really getting a lot better now to where it can take that information and you can just put in exactly what you need and it spits out, this is how we're going to target these people. Because I agree. I would rather my clients who are, let's say, under $250,000 a year, if they're under 250,000, I would rather them put all of their efforts into building an email list versus running ads.
yes, correct.
100%.
I
Yeah.
completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And if they don't have a marketing budget, right? And most startup entrepreneurs definitely do not. They are bootstrapping as much as possible. I agree with you. If you have an extra $100 and you want to try it out, and then pull back and look at those analytics very, very closely. I'm running an ad for one of my clients right now who has been inspired to only run a few dollars a day. And we've been running it now for about 2 weeks, I believe. And we've had 2 hits on it. But he just wants to let it ride and see what comes out of it. And I'm like, okay, well, even if the whole goal is just for more company awareness, because he's in a local little area, that's it. He only serves one area, right? So to him, he's like, let's just let it ride. And if the same mom or the same dad or business owner sees my ad multiple times, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm here to support you with your goals, right? Let's do that. So I think it's very interesting. It's an interesting topic. I know that there's so many fun ways to use ads and get creative and get people over to you. And now really the platforms will cater to that.
Yeah.
What I'd love to know or what for us to talk about before we end, because I know that people are probably gonna be thinking, well, shoot, should I be running ads? Right? And I don't think either of us are really saying yes, run ads or don't run ads. I think we're both like, here's the options. I think we have options here.
Right.
So so I don't know, when you're going through your course, I know that you said you're going through DWA, right? Okay.
Yep.
So does DWA tell you when not to use ads on social media?
Well, I have to be completely honest. I am not complete yet, so I haven't gotten to that point.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay.
No, there's other experts in the field that are strong advocates of Facebook ads, Facebook ads, Facebook ads. I'm originally from New York. I'm pretty skeptical about everything, but I just want to know, seriously, like when someone says, I run Facebook ads and I've made $500,000 a month from this Facebook ad, I want them to really delve deeper into that and not just send me to a link and say, buy this $500 course and you'll learn how to make $500,000 a month purchasing Facebook ads.
That to me just screams red flag, run away.
Yeah, and I think that
here's the thing is that they probably had a business for 10 years that took them so long to build up to get to that point that it's probably not a red flag. But if they're saying, hey, I just ran this Facebook ad and I just got this and I built this course and now it's only going to cost you X amount of dollars and you can do it too, run the opposite way. I mean, seriously.
Right.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And we know right now there's so many people getting shut down because of income claims that I'd be very, very leery of anybody who is putting income claims out on any platform. And I've been that way for 20 years. So even when people were like in the newspaper saying this will get you $2,000 extra a month, I'm like, bull honky, right? So let's not do that.
Yes, and everything takes time and everyone's pace is different.
Yep.
I mean, maybe someone has the, a sort of like a sponge and they, absorb all the information in 1 week and then a month or 2 later they're making, $10,000 a month. That's very rare.
It totally just reminded me. So this last weekend I had purchased a course, and it was kind of a course, but it was more of a summit specifically.
Okay.
And in that summit, they had all of these different coaches and consultants that were in there, and they were talking about their journey. And there was one lady, you guys may know her or may not know her, but her name is Allie Wiggle, I think that's how you say her name. It's Wigle, could be totally different.
Okay.
But she is a digital course and Disneyland planning expert. Very interesting
Wow.
lady. She only decided to do like travel guides specifically to Disney. And
Hmm.
she said in her part of this, which I was completely floored by because I shared it with my friend, I was like, this is really neat. She was like, I don't want to be a nurse no more or something like that. And I just want to be able to stay at home and work and have my baby and
Right.
blah, blah, blah. Right.
Right.
And she said from day one, she decided to actually run ads from dairy. But she was so clear
Right.
on who her goal was, who her target audience was. She knew what her budget was. She knew her branding. Like she had it all
Right.
together before she did that. Now she's not making buku bucks of money, but she was able to replace her nursing job and be able to do this now,
That's
and to her
right.
that was completely fine. She was like, oh,
Right.
and I was really impressed with this story.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not saying like it couldn't
Yeah.
work. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like, hey, if
Yeah.
you're gonna do it,
Right.
make sure that you have a couple of your like T's crossed and your I's dotted, right? Like
Right.
before you jump into this.
Hmm.
So some
Quick,
yeah.
a quick suggestion. If I make the leap, maybe the next time we come on, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or in a month, I can report my progress.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, keep us
Yeah.
updated on that because if
Right.
you decide to write that,
Hmm.
that would be great to hear about. Like,
Yeah.
what did you market?
Right.
What was your copy?
Hmm.
How many
Hmm.
ads? What was your reach? All of that. Like, those analytics are so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it because it just tells a
Yes.
story, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
And really, what is your goal with it too? And I think that that's like the first one, like for people to run ads, like we got to define like what their goals are. Do they want sales? Do they want signups? Do they just want brand awareness? Like, what
Hmm.
does that look like? Right.
Right.
And
Completely. Completely.
so,
I think at the end of the day, I mean, everyone has a story. I am a
absolutely.
storyteller by by trade, and
Yeah.
I think that when you are being authentic and you're telling your story and that could really relate and resonate with someone,
Yeah.
off the bat, when you connect with someone, and we
Absolutely.
definitely connected. So,
Yeah.
so excited that we
Yeah.
met, so blessed that we met.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that being in business is more than being in business. Yes, it's definitely to make a living,
Hmm.
but it's so purposeful when you're on the phone with a potential client and you're so passionate about
Hmm.
what they want to do.
Yeah.
That makes my heart beat faster. You're just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna make it happen. This
Like,
is
let's go.
it. Even if
I got you.
I know, I was like, Kansas City, middle of the country. I was talking to this person, and I was like, I'm gonna drive out there, and we're gonna make this happen.
Right. That's
So
my passion
I
too. I'm
mean,
like,
that's
we're
the
not that far.
passion.
Map it.
Right. And I'm
Like,
gonna come see
MapQuest
you
us.
too.
I'm like, we're on the
But
I'm on the path to Kansas City, Missouri. I think like
there
you can
you
come through
go.
me in
Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be
So
so fun for you
completely about
to
that.
yeah, and I think that you
Mhm.
mentioned it too. I know we both talked on it very much about how you don't have to spend money here. You can grow organically. And I know by you making just one little switch, that helped you significantly with being able to get some additional reach. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Um, and I definitely respect, the experts and their
Mm-hmm.
advice and wisdom and knowledge. But, sometimes at the end of the day, you have to kind of go off course and say, all right, well, here is, my heart, and this is, what I want to share
Yeah.
and brighten someone's day, inspire. So mixing a little bit of faith and business
Yeah.
and helping others and purpose and mission
Mm-hmm.
and all of that combined, I feel as though I have reached more and maybe touched more hearts that way, and
Yeah.
that in turn, that touches my heart. And at the end, that
Yeah.
because I have a nonprofit, mindset, and I always want to help others. And I guess I'm this, I mean, maybe over the top empath. I just feel so passionate, and I just want to help. I just want to help
Yeah.
better lives.
Yeah.
Any way I can. and especially when it comes to faith. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, gosh, yeah, I'll get so
Yeah.
emotional about that.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because
Mhm.
you're not the first woman I've spoken with who did not want to put parts of themselves online, which is completely unacceptable. Like I'm like
Yeah.
unacceptable. No, I mean it's acceptable,
Right,
right?
right.
Like and that's okay because we're sometimes like it's like, oh well, this isn't professional or this isn't part of our brand or this isn't whatever it
No,
may be, right? And then I know you and I had a conversation. I was like, no, like if this is a part of you and someone's going to get on the phone with you and chat with you or you're going to be in the DMs and this is going to come up naturally for you,
yeah,
put it out there because
yeah,
just be yourself in that part
yeah,
of it, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
definitely.
so it's so
Mhm.
important to just do that because what happened magically after you did that was people started flooding to you. You had way more reach, you had more interactions,
Yes. Mhm.
and I think
Right.
that you're probably having even deeper conversations now with some women, which is
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah, it
I
is.
love
It's really
that.
great. It is great. It is
I love
great.
that for you.
And
I
you
love
too.
that.
Yeah,
You know,
you too
you're
as
you're
well.
a newer account, and I think that that's so important for you to find your specific voice out there
Yeah,
because that's what organic marketing is. It's finding your voice
it
and
is.
sticking to your voice, and that's
Mhm.
your brand. Because at the end of the day, you are your brand.
Yeah, I
So running ads
completely
or
agree.
not, if
Yeah,
you run ads and you don't have a voice and you
that's
don't know who you are as a brand, it's pointless. You're throwing money out the window.
that is so true. That's so true.
Mm.
I'm having a audio event on LinkedIn, different platform,
Yeah.
but this is about storytelling, and it's on Thursday, 11 o'clock Eastern time. I would love for you to come,
Yeah.
but it is again helping others tell their
I
story
love that.
and really being their authentic selves and just sharing, and as much
Yeah.
as you want to share. Because at the end of the day, when you do share your story, whether it's your personal story or your business story,
Mm-hmm.
and how it helps others.
Yeah.
That's going to resonate with a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'll put the hint. You got to have a film story.
Well, and I think it's so funny because people love to watch or read the stories, watch the movies, right, where the small man or woman wins, right? I'm sure there's a technical term for this, but I don't know it because I'm not a film in film. But there's the part where it's like attracted to those specific stories because it's like, wow, they found a way to make it happen. Through all their obstacles, they figured it out, right? Forrest Gump figured out how to run after Jenny.
Completely.
He figured it out. We all
Completely.
cheered for him.
Yes.
And I think
It's so
that that's what's
true.
beautiful about it. So I
Yeah.
think people need to tell their stories and be who they are and have those deeper conversations with the people they're attracting. So I
Yeah.
hope that you do decide to play around with different platforms and just see what you really like to do and do that. And even for people who have specific products, if you have a product and you really know exactly who it is you're targeting, as long as you have a budget for it,
Right.
if you have a limited budget and budget is really tight and
Right.
it's
Right.
focus on your organic strategies. Focus
Right.
on that because it's not going to do anyone listening. It's not going to do you any good to
Mhm.
throw $10 or $100 or $1,000 out, and then all of these people come to you and you're still trying to figure it out, right?
Right. Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to try it or?
I've never actually ran ads for my own business. I've never
Mhm.
really needed to be honest. I've
Mhm.
done a
That's right.
lot of,
You said that.
most
Mhm.
of my coaching has been word
Mhm.
of mouth.
Mhm.
But I've really thought about so in 2020, as everything was getting shut down, I got actually laid off from from the consulting company I was working with. And so I was like, oh, I guess now is a good time for me to go start my own again. So here I am. But during that time, I started to put together a course. And even though I had never put together like a digital course or anything like that, at that time I was thinking, okay, I'll run ads for the course and do all that stuff. But then I pulled back because I really don't know if I want to have someone buy my course and just take my course kind of evergreen because I really, at the end of the day, I love working one-on-one with women or even in a group setting and helping them along the way. And I know a lot of people who buy courses don't finish courses. And so I don't want someone to buy my course and then not finish it. I really want to be able to help a woman along the way. And part of that can be what the same strategies they would get from my course
Right.
on a one-on-one session. So I'm still kind of figuring that piece out. But if I ever put out some digital products, which I think I'm going to be, but yeah, I think I might be in the future. Nothing completely today, but definitely I would love to have a resource like almost boutique, like a membership almost, I think, specifically for people, for small business women entrepreneurs that are wanting to personally grow as well as professionally. So I would love to put together a boutique and have even other experts like yourself and people that we're working with in our within our community, you know, just adding to this and making it as abundant as
Yeah,
possible, because I think that
that's
that's,
awesome.
you know,
And would
I
you
think
be accessible? Like, say if you were to, create these and then subscription, obviously you would be successful. I mean, accessible.
accessible. Hopefully both. Uh, I hope. Yeah, you know, and I think it's just like even when I was first starting out in my entrepreneurial journey, like I
Mhm.
was back then we had no internet. There was no Google
Right.
back then. It was I had AOL still at that time and Yahoo search. Like those were my big search engines, right? And so at that time, you're searching for everything. And really, a lot of my knowledge came from the books, which is why I have such a huge collection of what I have. But yeah, I would definitely still be accessible. I would always, and I think I will probably be coaching for the rest of my life. Like I've been doing this now for 20 years and I don't see it lessening anytime. Like I want to like magnify it a lot more.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I will be 1,000% available inside of that, like that
Mhm.
piece. So that's something
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be awesome.
dabbling with, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about. But
Mhm.
yeah. Well, okay. So
Awesome.
if people want to um, know about your LinkedIn event, can you drop that, share that down below where people can come and join you and cheer you on and learn from you? And that's Thursday, and
Mhm.
you're probably going to have to do it when we hang up off of here.
Okay.
But then, other than that, what other projects do you have going on right now that may be of interest for some individuals?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I don't know when it's going to be kind of the same situation. I don't know when it's going to be done, and it is a sort of a long-term project, but I am putting together a documentary e-course
Okay.
to produce short film and then longer. So if someone wants to
Mm,
tell their story about themselves or their business, um, they can really understand and delve into exactly what it takes.
mm,
Because at the end of the day, I mean, I can fly to California. I can fly to Africa if I want, but at
yeah.
least have a bit of a roadmap
Yeah.
before they do reach out to, say, for example, a local producer. They know
Yeah.
what to expect. They know exactly
Mm-hmm.
what it takes, all the steps, the process, because I can tell you over and over again, even this week,
Yeah.
every single week, almost every single day, some folks reach out to us,
That's
me
cool.
and my film team, and they say, "Hey, we have this great project, and what will it
Yeah.
take to, get it off the ground?" And so we talk about the process, and they just
Wow.
they just don't understand. And I mean, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I
Yeah.
get it
Mm-hmm.
completely.
I love
But
that you're doing
there,
that, because one thing that I've been a big my passion is that before somebody gets on the phone with me to know about coaching, like to working with me,
yeah,
they typically already know all the answers by searching for me on my platforms or whatever. Like the answers are already laid out. And I do that even at my job too. Like before, because I'm working for an electric toothbrush company. And so before a dentist gets on the phone with me, they should already know about our program, how much it costs, who it's for, if they can afford it, if they cannot, like all the steps.
yeah,
Like it simplifies your sales process
yeah,
so much when you create tools like that. And I'm so excited that you're doing that, because I think that that's going to be a huge lift off of you and your team, and just to be able to do that. So that would be my
right,
suggestion. Anyone watching
yeah,
this who's like trying to simplify your sales process, tell them everything they need to know before they ever schedule a discovery call with you. Stop hiding it. Stop being the gatekeeper. It's like, oh, well, you can only know if you're on the call with me.
right,
No, I don't even want to get on the call with you unless you're actually thinking about changing
yeah.
your life somehow or another.
Right, right, because then they
Yeah.
could become part of the process and they have agency, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera, and they become empowered no matter. if you
Yeah.
have no degree or a Harvard degree,
Absolutely.
it runs the
Absolutely.
gamut. So
That's so cool.
just really excited about that. And I'll say this, definitely to pump up really any, digital marketing course. I hate to say this, don't go to college. Your kids don't listen. But in terms of, digital marketing and really elevating any business,
Yeah.
it really could be implemented in so many different
Oh yeah.
ways. And, I've seen it over and over again, even in these past 3 or 4 months. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane. It's insane. I
Yeah.
mean, it was
It's
like the
changing.
light bulb. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah. There's so many things
Kids
that are
need to go to
changing.
college, I guess.
You know what?
But
Here's the thing. I went to college and I've also
yeah,
read books and I've taken a
right,
lot of courses and I've gone to a lot of conferences and
right,
seminars and summits and all the
right,
things. I've
right,
spent more money on my personal growth, my professional growth
right,
than I did on college. And
right.
I have a bill right now of $133,000 and $888 and a few cents for college. Okay. So I've spent a lot of money on
Mm,
education, some way or another.
right.
And I have a 22-year-old now, and I would love for him to get some sort of formal education underneath his belt because one, I believe it allows them to think outside of the box and they're not pigeonholed into just thinking about whatever the industry is that they're looking for, they're interested in. It allows them to kind of have a bigger, like I learned so much in college, but it wasn't until I actually got out of college or throughout my college that I started to learn how to apply it differently. And I like completely changed my growth, right? Differently.
Yeah, right.
So I think that there's a good way to go there, not spend a lot of money like I did, and then invest in yourself. Like I actually just put together a free resource. It's in my links, and it's literally hundreds of different places that people can go get free education online. Like all the universities, all the marketing courses, anything business related. Like there's so much goodness in there, and it's all free. Like you can literally go take classes from Harvard for
Yeah,
free. Like there's so
right,
much.
right. Yeah,
And
there
maybe a
is so
lot of
much.
people don't know that. Like
Right.
I wish that was available when I was going through school, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely,
there's a lot
definitely.
out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then complemented by a lot of these
Yeah.
experts who create these courses, et
Oh,
cetera, et
absolutely.
cetera. It's really invaluable. I feel like you should never stop learning too.
Yeah.
As so many people say, you
Yeah.
have to be teachable no matter how old you get, because
Absolutely.
that is a really, I think, a big problem across the board in terms of in any industry, because all the different we talk about this forever,
You
just
know.
different generations working together, different people
Yeah.
with different cultures,
Yep.
from different backgrounds, even within this
Yeah.
country. You can work with
There's so
somebody
much.
from Texas, New York, different culture,
Yep.
different culture.
Totally.
And I've worked with pretty much everyone in almost every state because
Yeah.
of my film work. So not every
Yeah.
state, South Dakota, North Dakota, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so interesting. I mean, I love it. I
It
do
is.
love it, but I definitely see the
Yeah.
mindset
Yeah.
differences
Yeah.
completely in every
Yeah.
aspect. So
I
anyway.
love that. I love that. And I think it makes us more interesting for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, yeah,
It
completely.
does.
Yes, it does.
I before
Mhm.
I graduated high school, I went to 36 different schools, and it wasn't because my parents were in the military. It's because my mom constantly was bouncing me school to school and all over the place. And
Right.
so came with that, I learned how to really make friends everywhere I went all the time. And it's like I grew up bouncing really between Arkansas and Southern California. So imagine my differences just culturally so
Yes.
different. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like it's just made me very open minded. And I just love all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
people. And I think that that's
Mm-hmm.
just that's the part that I love, I think, about myself is that I just really like people.
Yeah,
That's my
and
thing.
that is the key, that it did make you more
Yeah,
open-minded, because
it
I
did.
think same
Yeah,
situation, if I just lived in a bubble in Long Island and grew up in New York, stayed in New York, I
yeah,
never would have seen or experienced or created
yeah,
relationships with people with different
yeah,
backgrounds. And even in Germany, I lived in Europe for 3 years.
yeah. You're all over.
I was
Yeah,
all over. I mean, I worked with this really mean German woman. I mean, she made me hard.
she's probably listening right now. She's like, "That was me. You're welcome."
Oh my gosh, she did make me cry. She really did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
But
I
it
think
makes you
it's
stronger.
phenomenal though.
Yeah.
Like just the differences and things. And it's like I really there's a book by Robert Kiyosaki and almost everybody knows it. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I've written about it multiple times, but I really did have a rich dad and I had a poor dad. And my rich dad was in Southern California in San Juan Capistrano in $1 million home. And then my poor dad was in Arkansas and we had a trailer with like a 3 bedroom with a hole in one of the rooms that we didn't even go in. And they threw the trash out of the back. They never, you know what I mean? Like I literally bounced between these two environments as a child. And it blows my mind how my
Wow.
mom went back and forth between these men. I'm like, wow, like the amount of, I don't know how I adapted so well to the different environments, to the different, like to one house, like you can't touch the walls and the furniture and everything because it's like ivory and collectibles and we're taking pictures for insurance because it's so expensive, to the other one that's like you have lawn chairs as your living room furniture and cooler, and it's embarrassing, but it's so the truth. You can't make
Wow.
it up. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So when I read that book, I was like,
Right.
wow, I learned those same lessons.
Yeah.
Like the man my mom was seeing in California, he owned the entire school bus system out there in Southern California and property all over. And then this other man, he worked for just a normal job and
Wow.
he struggled to
Wow.
keep the job. And that was my sister's dad. And it's so interesting to me to see the two
Wow.
differences and how
Incredible.
I can see this side, right? The very humble side. And then I can see the other side of being an entrepreneur and how to make all of that flourish and kind of come
Yeah.
alive. So
That's
it's interesting when
incredible.
you surround yourself with people.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
and complete contrast. That's happened, and yeah, a complete contrast. Yeah,
Yeah.
when we lived in North Carolina
Mm-hmm.
for years, it was the first time I ever
Yeah.
was in a mobile home, and my kids went from, we lived in a normal house. I mean, it was nice,
Mm-hmm.
but then they did have some friends mention,
Yeah.
doctors and so forth, and then there were some mobile homes, and they saw that contrast, and
Yeah.
their eyes were opened, and my eyes were
Oh, for
actually
sure.
open too,
Yeah.
because I was able to really understand both situations,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
that's a whole other conversation. Yeah,
It's so
because yeah,
interesting. I
it
mean,
really
it's such
is.
an interesting
Mhm.
conversation because I think
It
it
is.
really does. I think every person should experience all of it. I
Yeah.
tell the story a lot too about my first time from California to Arkansas. We took an Amtrak because my mom got
Wow.
tired of this guy and decided we're moving across the country to Arkansas in an Amtrak, right? And so I remember going by like Tijuana, like right where Yuma, Arizona and Mexico line up. Like all you see is like a little metal fence or
Mhm.
whatever right there that kind of
Right.
separates the
I hate to
countries.
interrupt you. I just want to check on Arabelle. Can you
Oh
hold that
yeah,
thought? Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Sorry.
She's quiet over there. She's doing so good.
Arabelle? Okay. You okay? Okay. She's okay.
Oh yeah. How
It's like
cute.
we're on a Zoom.
Yeah.
Couple
That's okay. No worries. Yeah, but I remember seeing the very first time on that train, looking out towards my right and seeing Mexico for the first time and seeing these shack houses that weren't even really shacks. It was just kind of like plywood stood up against each other. And I
Wow.
was like, what is that, Mom? And her telling me, like, those are people's homes. So by the time I got to my trailer in Arkansas that had a hole in the floor and the tornado had ripped off half of the roof, it looked like heaven, you know?
Oh my gosh. Oh.
But that was like the reality of that. Like, I was like, wow, I was really like taken through that experience in a really very interesting way where I was very thankful for actually what I had as a kid because I didn't know the difference.
Right.
Even though I knew that there was a better life and there was more expensive and I got pagers and all the cool things with the rich dad, really my poor dad was the one who kind of stood by me and still to this day has my picture on the wall, and him and my mom have been divorced since I was 14. So there's a
Wow.
big difference. There's a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
difference,
Yeah.
and
And
so
the relationships really play such an
yes.
important role in the way you develop emotionally
Oh, for
and your
sure.
construct
For sure.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
of relationships.
Yeah.
So, and
I love how well rounded you are though, and I love how just you flow with conversations. And even when we first started talking, we were kind of rushed. You were doing different things. And, I think you were at like your granddaughter's, like
Gymnastics.
dance class or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
gymnastics,
gymnastics. Yeah.
but it was just so easy, as if almost like we have known each other for a very long time. And I think that's probably due to the circumstances we have been thrown into multiple times in our life. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I know this
Definitely.
conversation
Definitely.
has taken a completely different direction.
Different turn. I know. We're like, we're just gonna talk 15 minutes. We're gonna get,
I know.
add some value.
I know. I
We
know.
definitely want to,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I missed you.
Yeah. I missed you too. I missed you too. So I hope you're doing well. And I hope that you and your little granddaughter over there have a great evening together. I
You
know that you're with her
too.
every day, right? Summer's out. So are you with her every day?
Pretty much. Yeah, she has half days this week, and then her mommy went on vacation. She's coming back,
Hold
and
on.
but we'll
Mom's going
probably
on
hang out a lot.
vacation? Who signed up for this?
I know. She's like, she's taking a break from work. I mean,
Oh,
she does well in seller marketing, and she does pretty well. And we're like,
yeah.
all right, you still got to pay the bills, but she's doing pretty
That's
well.
awesome.
But she was supposed to come back Saturday. Long story short, she's coming back tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
She's
All right.
gone
So
since
grandma's got
Friday, I
it.
think, or
Yeah. Are you Nona?
come
Grandma?
Nuna.
You're Nona.
Nuna.
Okay.
Nuna. I'm
Gotcha. Yeah, I
Italian.
figured. I
So,
figured. I called my great grandma Nona. So I was like, okay, I figured.
oh, that's so nice. Because you're part
Yeah.
Italian too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. My
Mhm.
dad's whole family, my grandmother's side is Italian, and then my grandfather was German. So,
Oh, wow.
and then my
That's
mom's just kind of a mud of Swedish and a whole bunch of other random things. So
wow.
I
Wow.
claim the Italian and German and then the mud.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so same
Isn't
time,
it?
same venue next week on
Yeah, I
Tuesday.
think so. I,
Right?
I think we're doing this on Tuesdays, right? Tuesday
Yeah.
afternoons.
Yeah, we're
So,
gonna try to
yeah,
try to do this. Yeah, definitely
yeah.
would love to. And I'll let you know if I try advertising. I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
in a week, but I
Okay.
will
Yeah,
I'll
if
test
you
it
ever
out.
decide to take that leap, document your journey. I would love to have you come back on and just share your
Right.
experience, especially if you're doing like the digital products and things like that. Because I know a lot of people that are watching us do have digital products or they're wanting to get into that.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate for any industry to have some sort of digital product, even if it's just a
Right.
lead magnet. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even I have lead magnets,
Right.
So like, I
Yeah.
have those too. I'm not charging people for them. They're free, right? The whole goal is
Right.
to build my email list. So that's what I use them
Right.
for. So I believe every single company should do that. Anybody who's serious about being in business longer than 60 days should be doing that.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if a
Well,
storefront should have it. Well,
oh yeah.
we'll talk about that later. A
Oh,
storefront.
absolutely.
Should they have a lead magnet?
Absolutely.
Like a
Absolutely.
gym? A gym. Okay.
They should
Okay.
have an email sequence that they can be able to pump out,
Mhm.
to let them know about specials or new programs or new equipment. If it's a gym, a new equipment that they're offering in, or
Right.
any classes, things like that. So any business can use this, this kind of funneling.
Mhm.
So digital marketing is definitely not going away, and
Right.
it's been around. I mean, I've known about digital marketing since I was probably for at least 15 years. It's just in a different format today. It's more popularized today than it's ever been because of some courses that are now flying through the air, right? So I think that there's some really great knowledge, and people are learning it, and they're figuring out, hey, you know what? I can't make all the money I want maybe in my 9 to 5, but maybe I can do a couple extra things here and
Yeah.
share some of my skills and my knowledge and my abilities, and
Yeah.
help other women or men figure that out, or
Yeah.
kids, or I'm seeing products like this literally everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
I know somebody who has a bowling alley who just created an entire digital product. I know somebody who
How to
is using
how to
digital
bowl?
products.
How
Pretty
to
much.
bowl?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It's the best techniques and different things like that, but I've seen it at a church. I've seen them, just different digital products at churches.
Mhm.
I've seen them in boutiques, like small little boutiques, to help get them in and different things like that. They're different vendors, different types of
Mhm.
products that they have, or different events that they're going to be at. So
Mhm.
I
Mm.
think people are getting really, really freaking creative, and I love to
Right.
see it because I don't think it's
Right.
going away. I don't think
Yeah.
it ever will. I think it's
Mhm.
actually going to double down, if not by triple down
True.
over the next probably 6 months, to be honest.
True. I have a friend from high school. She's just killing it in digital marketing, and she's telling the story. It's a clothing company, and it's Good Robe and Co. I think that's what it's called. But I'm not sure if she has an actual guide about fashion. She
Oh,
talks so much, very, very, just very intelligent, and her
yeah,
message is, she analyzes all the different aspects of fashion, your personality, et
yeah,
cetera. And it's very intelligently done. So,
I love that.
but I'm just wondering if she has one. I have to ask her.
Yeah, I actually purchased a course and I finished the course and I got a coach. Her name was Joanne Bolt, and she actually teaches people how to do their own podcasts. And she shared one idea with me that I thought was phenomenal that I immediately ran with because I was like, "Ooh, this is really good." And I was able to tweak it into multiple different things.
Right.
But she said she uses her digital products. She takes her top 10 like podcasts that she has and puts them into episode she puts all of her episodes. Like, let's say she has a topic on like leadership or something like that, right? She
Right.
would put like 10 of her leadership episodes that she had all on her lead magnet. So people could just immediately click through and get the top 10 on that versus going through all of her episodes. I was like, ooh, that's really, really smart. I really loved that. And I was able to like flip that into, oh, these are my 10 top blogs, or these are my 10 top social media posts that talk on this topic, or whatever it is. So
Interesting.
very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah,
Yes. I actually had,
I loved that idea.
yes, I had a colleague out in the Midwest. I think he worked for not American University. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
But we recorded the podcast and he aired it, and then he downloaded, transcribed it, and then it ended up being an article. And I was
Yep.
like, that is so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, now everyone does it a million
Yeah.
times over. Yeah.
I actually just did yesterday. I actually just did another live video, and it was about how to use the GPT store inside of Chat GPT, and how there is a brand new, well, it's not brand new, but it's a GPT inside of there. It's called Video AI, I believe it is. I'd have to look it up again really quick.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
actually, let me do that because I'm on here. And
Okay.
it was so interesting. So what you can take it pretty much any like YouTube video that's public, and you can just grab the link and you throw it into this specific this GPT, and it literally will summarize everything for you. It gives you all the keynotes, all the different things like that. And then on top, it's called Video AI. And so I
Oh,
ask it, so I'll do this even with my own live videos. So like I'm going
wow.
to take this video, I'm going to put it into my YouTube channel. And then
Okay.
once it's public, I'm going to take the link, I'm going to put it into the GPT, and I'm going to say, great, can you summarize this now for me? It summarizes everything for me, gives me all the chapters, so I can actually put chapters in my video. Then it
Right.
also gives me, and then I can say, can you make this into an educational article for LinkedIn? And then it produces that for me. And then I'm like, hey, can you give me 5 quotes that Nicole said? Boom, it gives me that. And
Wow.
very cool. The coolest GPT I'm telling you I have found. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
this is
We'll
this is
definitely have to post
genius.
that link too. Definitely, definitely. And
So
it
good.
definitely
Yeah, it's
it
actually in my
generates
video from
something that's
yesterday. It's really good.
coherent, and as we go off on all these tangents.
I know,
Okay.
I know. I know, but it was a good one. Like I was like, "Ooh,
No,
I can't," like
definitely.
because I found it just recently, and it's been
No, definitely.
rocking my world because I'm
Wow.
living in YouTube for my day job and my evening stuff, my coaching, and even my own lives. Like I need to build my own YouTube channel,
Yeah.
right? Like here's a phenomenal way,
Right.
easy way to do it. So
Definitely. And one
I'm
more
trying.
thing, I don't know if you know about this,
All right.
that you can monetize with YouTube as long as you have a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of views. And
Yep.
there's a section, we can share as well. I just discovered it. Maybe everyone knows about it, but it's YouTube partnership monetization. Hit
Very cool.
4,000 views or 4,000 members, and you can start getting paid from YouTube. Now, of course,
Yeah,
there's certain levels, right?
I
So,
know.
my passive income from some of my films are, $10 because you have to
Hey,
have
that's
monthly.
cool though.
But
Yeah, I've got 6
yeah,
followers. So
Okay.
I would never use my YouTube correctly, and it's so sad. I know this is another whole
Right.
tangent. It is a whole
Right.
nother
It's okay.
tangent. But it's
Right.
like if you were my
Okay.
client, you would ask me like, "Hey, how do you do this on social media or on a website or whatever it is?" And so I would record myself doing it, and then I would just go throw it on my YouTube for in the future. That's it. I used YouTube so wrong for so long, but